Hey guys, what's up? How y'all doing? I really need to work on the intro because that's kind of dry. But until I get one, what's up? How y'all doing? What's the sock by say? Um but anyhow, this week I would like to transition from focusing on the effects that sexual abuse has on the individual's self-perception and aspirations for the future, and I want to transition into family and religion. Like the last video, this will be a two-part. This video here, I want to talk about family and the perception of family, and then the next one I want to talk about um, religion, spirituality, all that good stuff. That is my heart, that part. So I'm excited about that part, but I'm even more excited to go into the forgiveness because if you can't tell, I'm really not emotionally stifled by my past experiences. I'm kind of sort of in a better place emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. And so I kind of sort of, I'm covering this so I can give you a foundation as to why I am how, and why I am the way I am and how I came to be there. But yeah, so sexual abuse has a direct impact on a person's perception of family. I believe the most common form of childhood sexual abuse occurs by siblings, sibling on sibling, and then it transitions to um, extended family such as aunts, uncles, cousins. Then it extends to parents and children. Then it goes to complete strangers and all that. And so that was the case of mine. I was sexually abused by cousins. And then as an adult, it became someone else that wasn't family but was a close friend who was a stranger that became a friend. But growing up, I was really big on family. The incident that happened at 6 years old, it didn't really shift how I seen family and my perspective on family because it didn't involve much pain, to be honest. It was just a touching and go. So, that didn't shift anything. And even the incident at 9, though the 9-year old situation didn't shift my perspective on family, it's what happened after the fact. It's the when we moved in with the family and then that whole phase of experiences as well, and it's after that as well. So prior to the 9-year old incident, 7, 6, 7, 8, I was big on family. I want to be by my family. Love to be by them. I stayed going places with them, all that. But round about 9.5, 10 years old, there was a shift in my perspective, and I changed my perception to my family consists of my grandmother's descendants. Anything else on my family tree, I grade out and care nothing about. We family through blood, but not through relationship. I don't want to be involved with y'all. Y'all nasty. Y'all need Jesus. Leave me alone. And you know what's sad? And that was because of one branch of my family tree. Um, but because of the change I had, I rejected family that I was close with, such as I had a cousin who's 2 years older than me. She and I were cool growing up. Like she is. I love her to death. And my dog. But growing up, she was the ideal kid you want your kid to be friends with. She was smart. She did her schoolwork. She was well behaved. She had snacks. She was the only child, so her family had a bunch of stuff and fun stuff, toys and all that. She was responsible. She was fair. And she's highly personable and friendly and welcoming. She's what you want your kid. She really is what you would want your kid to gravitate towards, especially when they begin to develop their social identity. But unfortunately, when I had to shift family perspectives, I rejected that whole relationship because, again, you were not born from my grandmother, so you related to me, but we're not family because family is what affected me initially. And so I had another cousin who's 2 years younger than me, I believe, and I love hanging out with her. That's my dog. She cool too. I look forward to going to church on Sundays to hang out and talk to her and sit by her because she made church fun. She made time go by quick, and she kept us eating snacks out my auntie purse. So she was like my best friend growing up. Them two both were like two of my original best friends. But again, with the change of perspective on families, I rejected those relationships, which were beneficial to me because in my childhood, those were some things I look forward to. They gave me a desire to keep living, if you will. And so the sexual abuse happens at a 9, and then there's the continual coercion and all that. I think the change really came to be solidified for me in the rejection of family, ironically, happened after the sexual abuse stopped. It became the point when it came to be at the point when I told my family, hey, I was sexually abused as a kid by this relative, and for this long time, whatever else. I didn't get into full details because I didn't want my mom to go to prison. I talk about that in the book as well. But I didn't want my mom to end up in prison, so I just pretty much made a blanket statement. Yeah, they touched me. Yeah, when I was 6 years old. Yeah, they did it again when I was 9. I don't think I even disclosed the penetration part that happened at 9 and after that from 9 on. I think I just simply said they touched me, and the look in my mom's face made me say, stop right there, because she's going to prison. And I love my mama. I don't want to go to jail because I went up in the system. And I think it was HRS at the time. I want HRS to take us. So hey, yeah, it was just touching. That was it. So when I told them what had happened to me, it was disclosed to me that they had did stuff to other children as well in the family, and that was the moment that I rejected family because I took on a shame of and responsibility for my experiences, and I felt like I was shamed because I shamed my family. I took their ability to show that they're strong and they're able to protect their young and innocent, by taking on the responsibility of, you allowed this to happen. You should have said something sooner. And because you didn't, it's your fault. And so, because of that, I felt like I could not go around my extended family because I was a symbol of shame for my immediate family. You know what I mean? And so I pretty much, if they were not born from my grandma or my grandparents, meaning my mom's mom or my mom's dad, not my dad's family, because I ain't never been close to them. I would like to fix that, but I don't know how, because it's kind of like I'm 30 something. It's like we ain't been close my whole life, so why bother? I like my siblings, but other than that, I'm praying about it. But if it was not born from my maternal grandma or my maternal grandfather, I want no parts of it. And I rejected them for years, for years, for years. And even with the family, what's interesting, so with the family of the offenders who abused me as a kid, um, she has 6 kids. I think the second oldest and the baby I was cool with. No issues with them. I loved them. They were cool with me. The youngest one, we was really close. That was my dog. And the older one, he was just an older cousin that was cool that I knew I probably could go to because he just didn't play the radio. He's really structured. He went to the army. He was really do right by kids. Even now, he's really do right by the kids. But because of what was told to me by my offender constantly, I pretty much shunned any chance of trying to open up to that person and get some help. But those 2 people saved me from writing off that whole family forever. I hated their mother because I blamed her. I'm like, you know your kids are weird. You know your kids you can't trust your kids even if you blink your eyes for 5 extra seconds because they're weird, and I blamed her for that, blamed her for what happened to me because I felt like you should have did better. I was a kid, I couldn't protect myself, but you should have protected me by keeping your kids away from me. But as I grew and matured, I realized I cannot blame you for something you were not physically there to be responsible for. I cannot blame you for an assumption that you knew, an assumption that you're responsible for. I cannot blame you for that, and so I won't. And so I forgave her and I moved on, and I can't wait to get into the forgiveness part of my story, into the life after and all that, because that's where I am. I'm in a better place emotionally and mentally, physically and spiritually. And so I'm no longer weighed down by my story. And by the way, telling these stories and video vlogging really helps as well. It really solidifies to me that, James, you really have grown. You really have moved past that phase, because at one point I couldn't even utter I was sexually abused without being reduced to tears. So I never talked about it. Someone would say, well, weren't you sexually abused? I would say, yeah, and that was it. But if I uttered out my mouth, it happened to me, I couldn't. But now I'm in a better place. Thanks be unto Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to Jesus, thanks to counseling, thanks to life, thanks to resilience, thanks to my mother and my immediate support system. Thank you all. But yeah, so sexual abuse does affect the person's perception of family. For me, it caused me to forego a lot of relationships that I would have liked to maintain. But unfortunately, in order to sustain myself at that time, I had to push away everyone, all my aunts, uncles, all of them. If you're not born from my grandma, I had to push you away, because when I got into interacting with my family, I felt like shameful. I felt such a weight of shame. Like, we had a family reunion when I was 13 or 14, I believe. And I sat by my aunt Anika because I knew she was a hothead and she would protect me if something jumped off. And I sat by my grandma because my grandmother reassured me that it was fine. My mother and my aunt Summer were hosting the family reunion at my mom's house, so they were busy. I couldn't sit by them because they was moving too much. But these two people, I can sit by them, they can make me feel good. But even sitting there, I felt like all eyes was on me because everyone knew what happened to me. Everyone knew my business. Everybody was aware of what I told to disclose. Everybody see my mama as being a weak and not a strong single mother at the time. And so all that bear, I mean, I didn't even enjoy the family reunion because I was so preoccupied in my mind as to the opinions of my family, on my immediate family and on me. And so I felt like an alien. I felt like I was alienated while amongst blood family, you know. And my extended family, we were close my whole life growing up. We would pop in and out of each other's houses, all that stuff, whatever else. But at that point, I was done. It was over. You know, it was over for me. Um, so, you know, sexual abuse does affect the family, the person's perception of family. And if you know someone who's a victim of sexual abuse, then don't find it strange when they tend to want to seclude themselves from family and push themselves away from that family, especially when their offender is family. That's common. That's commonplace. What you need to do is pray and talk to them, walk them through the process of healing, through deliverance from hurt and from unforgiveness, and instead show them family can be consistent, show them family really cares, show them family is vital and important to their legacy that they will leave behind. But until they get to that point, don't push them, don't try. You will break them if you force them to go to settings that they are not physically or mentally or emotionally ready to go to. So, you know, but sexual abuse does directly impact a person's sense of family, especially when you go back through that scale of child on the siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, parents, strangers. When the closer you get to that most common one, which is the siblings, on out to strangers, it's worse times 10. So I pray, you know, as always, I pray these videos help you as they help me. Next week, we'll talk about religion. Excited about that. And then we'll go into healing and to life after, which I'm so excited about. I hope this is helping somebody. You know, it's helping me greatly. So I'll continue on. Also, I'm on Instagram at Discussion is Key, and I'm on YouTube now as Discussion is Key or Create the Discussion. I don't know, put a tag on it because I don't remember in all honesty. But yeah, God bless. As always, be easy. Love you.